Hi people! As I don't really know anything about the Burning Crusade, I'm currently only looking forward to one thing: soloing dungeons on my hunter and trying to find the new diamond tributes of Outland. I'm sure there are a bunch of amazing things in the Burning Crusade, but I don't really know much about it, and in order to look forward to something you kind of need to know it exists in the first place. So anyway, I figured I'd start early and try and solo every dungeon on a fresh hunter in Classic. And in this video, we're gonna look at Ragefire chasm. When I say soloing, I mean clearing my way to and killing the final boss, which in Ragefire chasm should be considered to be Taragman. Soloing elites is almost always about finding spots where you can juggle the mobs, and the first one was found conveniently on the side of the big ledge. It was not too difficult finding a path to that place either, and finding the reset spots, which also are very important. So using the spot on this ledge, I was able to juggle mobs back and forth, and by separating mobs from bigger packs, I could pick them off one by one. And thus I had a way to clear a path through the instance. I actually started doing this at level 8, but at that level my aggro range was so big that I pulled the mobs on the other side of the lava lake, so I decided to push myself to level 10 and then go in again. By just farming the elites and slowly progressing, I made my way to level 12 before starting the run where I actually got Taragman down. Also, before going further, I just want to mention that I'm doing this on a different server where I don't have any other characters. There is no twink gear or big buffs. I did get 5 gold when I asked for 20 copper to buy a skinning knife, and another 5 gold when signing a player skill chart. But besides that, it's really just greens and greys and me. Having a boar was really helpful, as their charge immobilizes the target for 1 second, which I could use to create some distance. Anyway, after I had soloed about 13 elites, I moved further into the dungeon. I got a few worms down using concussive shot and wing clip, although they almost got me down as well. I found another juggle spot fairly fast, which was pretty much as good as the previous one. I continued to clear a whole bunch of elites up until the orc dudes. These packs were more difficult as I had to run some distance to my juggle spot and I couldn't really separate them as easily. But from experience I knew I could skip a few mobs on the right and then send my pets directly to Taragman. And so, after maybe 8 different attempts and failures using different ledges and trying to separate the packs, I finally was able to get Taragman alone. And by now, all I had to do was move him back to my kiting spot and get him down. Luckily, he could be slowed, so it turns out it wasn't that difficult after all. I know that there is another boss that drops loot inside this instance, but considering the large mobs of humanoids packs with like 3 or more mobs in each pack, I'm not sure if there's any good way of getting there. Regardless, I felt satisfied with Taragman down, and I called it a success. I headed off to the Barrens and started questing for level 18, at which point I'll start moving into the Wailing Caverns. Meanwhile, Ragefire chasm took something like 75 minutes to do a whole run-in, with a bunch of trial and error. I'm sure Wailing Caverns will take way longer, considering just how big those caves are. Anyway, I hope you found this interesting. If you wanna see all the footage of the run that I have just to make sure I didn't bring in any 60s to clear things for me when I wasn't recording, then just write that in a comment and I'll post a video with all the footage. Anyway, this was all for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe and all of that stuff, to not miss out on new potential farms I might find in the future, of course. I'll be back soon with another video, hopefully of Wailing Caverns being soloed, and until then, see ya!